What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Space Force video. I was incredibly excited for this show, as not only have I just come off an Office rewatch, but two of the best comedies in the last 5 years, Silicon Valley and Veep, have now ended very recently, and there is little in the way of new great comedies coming to the screen. Now, The Office was not the greatest comedic television show of all time. I would personally put that prestigious title on Seinfeld, but The Office was great once it got out of the shadow of the UK version and forged its own path on TV, and I must say the UK version is much better. So with this in mind, Steve Carell has returned to the small screen once more with, in my opinion, the best cast a new comedy has assembled, with John Malkovich being involved, Jane Lynch and Patrick Warburton. Ben Schwartz, the best part of Daniel's other hit show, is also involved and stealing every single scene he actually is in. Another nice thing was Jimmy Yang of Silicon Valley having a major role. The question is, what did I think of it? Well, to be honest, the real question that needs to be asked is, what actually is the show supposed to be? Greg Daniels is well known for his mockumentary or hidden camera shows, which is the framing device for The Office, and Parks and Rec was also supposed to be a sequel or spin-off and also had that same mockumentary feel, and I was expecting the same to be here with Space Force. If anything, Space Force would be very suited to this, considering that the show is literally a send-up of a real branch of America's armed forces created by Donald Trump. However, I cannot put my finger on what the show actually is or is wanting to be. Shows like Veep, Silicon Valley and Righteous Gemstones are very much HBO comedies because they have a lot of drama, but they're also very quick-witted and with sharp scripts. The show's creators seem to be wanting to create a very HBO comedy here, but are missing one major problem. The show is basically very unfunny. What makes TV comedies work is a group of characters that are tightly knit, who can work together and then go off on their own plots, split up, but still provide jokes. In Space Force, I did not care about any single character whatsoever. We are introduced to Carell's character Mark Nairn and his family as he is promoted to 4-star general, subsequently made the head of Space Force because, well, reason. This is a continuing theme throughout the entire show as things happen for no real reason, and the show feels like that episode of Futurama where time is skipping forward. After Space Force is formed, well, we time skip for some reason, and Lisa Kudrow is in prison and we never really find out why. She is largely superfluous to the plot, and her strained relationship with her husband has no meat to it, and the bratty daughter trope of the disenfranchised privileged white girl having to move away is been done to death, and I just do not care one single bit, I'm afraid. The rest of the cast are instantly forgettable, minus Ben Schwartz character F. Tony Scaramucci and play on Trump's short-lived as spokesman Anthony Scaramucci. There are sprinklings of real-life characters like this, with an AOC-style character obsessed with government spending and a thinly veiled Elon Musk ripoff called Edison James. Get it? Edison, Tesla, please laugh, I guess I was thinking, who is like Lisa Kudrow and the rest of the cast, given bland and banal dialogue that just serves to push the story forward, and that is that. None of the great cast are given anything to work with, and the jokes seem to be so far and few between. It is a wonder why they decided to make this scripted comedy 30 minutes long, because the usual 21-minute broadcast comedy is condensed, which would have helped to mask the show's many flaws. The characters even point out that they have next to nothing in common, and their interactions are, well, kind of pointless. None of the plot lines seem to go anywhere or progress so fast that it's tough to understand why Captain Angela Ali went from personal helicopter pilot of Steve Carell's character to a love story with a scientist for some reason to suddenly leading a mission to the moon that itself was sped up by 4 years. Yes, the entire plot, which would have been perfect and could have followed Silicon Valley's story of a plot device product evolving and reaching competition and trying to resolve that, was rushed by 4 years due to China beating them to the punch of landing on the moon. Plot moves faster than the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, which I never thought was possible, but well, they've done it. Space Force moves faster than the rockets they aim to launch and jumps in feet first with plot, and each episode progresses and we never really get to know the star, and it seems like the plot has taken over from the jokes. Even the delivery from each character seems drawn out, like they aren't having fun making the show. If pressed, I would have to say the weakest part of the show and the fundamental flaw is the script, as not only is it an amazing feat they have pulled off by somehow making a fast-paced show seem like nothing has happened at all, but there are just next to no jokes. Space Force should be a comedy writer's wet dream, but, well, it wasn't. It has been a complete and utter mess, and, well, it has been a failure from top to bottom, as nothing really happens in the show, and there is there is pretty much no character development or really anything at all about the show that has a redeeming factor. It is a real shame because each episode pushes the plot forward, but not a lot happens whatsoever in the show, below, and I am just gutted that the show has ended up like this. Each episode has a plot point and things happen, but there is no real reason for this happening, and it goes from fast to fast, whereas there is just no kind of group or mentality around the show that makes me want to actually care about these characters. But if you go from A to B constantly, well, I want to see the actual kind of journey there. And the fact that the show is going on at such a fast pace really does underline just that the show has no soul, and that's the problem. The show does feel completely soulless. However, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments about the show, and also please do like the video if you enjoyed the review, and please do subscribe below with the notifications on so you never miss a video. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.